Hello to you all, it is Jo here, and I'm bringing you the podcast Goddess of Everything, and just letting you know that we are now a trademark. So it's got a little TM on the end, you might have seen that. So we are actually sponsored by our sister business, Stressless Hypnosis. If you haven't gone over and had a look at Stressless, then you really should be over there. This week, we have hypnotised people for free to quit smoking in the first week of January. Really, really excited because I've already received lots of messages to say that people are already starting to feel better. So this is wonderful. And lots of people got in touch to say that they would like help. So this is brilliant. And it just goes to show how we can all be affecting massive change on the planet and supporting people all over the world to be able to help them to move forward with their lives. So that's what the mission of Stressless is about. And here at Goddess of Everything, we are very excited for the future of Stressless. So if you haven't gone over and followed us or gone on our website, you can go to www.stressless.co.uk. Is that right? Yeah, stresslesshypnosis.com. And make sure you go and follow us on our Facebook page and our Instagram page and our TikTok, which is stress.less.hypnosis, and the same for Instagram as well. So you'll notice I put a dot in the middle of everything. So this is our supporter of this podcast, and this is now a monthly podcast. So we're going to talk about January 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. And if you don't know me, my name's Jo, and I have been here in the online space for about 5 years now, delivering lots of information about astrology, moonology. I'm having a little cough, and lots to do with transformation. And so this month, obviously being the beginning of the year, the most exciting part of the year where we decide who are we going to be this year. And I decided that we were going to create something called Plot Twist for our next huge transformation that was coming through for all the women in our world to be able to decide that they were having a change just like that. And so this month I wanted to talk about transformation because it is the energy of transformation. We've got lots of changes going on with the astrology, and so we're going to talk about how to harness that transformative energy in January. And also, so I just want to say, even though we're digging deep into the astrology, I'm going to do a pick a card reading to offer you at the end with some divine insights into that month ahead. So make sure you stay right to the end because I'm going to get you to pick between 1 and 3. Maybe you want to do it now. Maybe you want to just like close your eyes for a minute and take a deep breath and be like 1, 2 or 3. Which one am I going to pick? And it might be that you see it in front of your eyes. Maybe you just feel into it and you're like, it's 2 or it's 1. And I'll grab a deck of cards wherever they're at because my office is just full of esoteric stuff, you know. It's just how we live. I'm sorry if I'm clearing my throat. I've been like this all day, so I don't know whether I managed to clear my throat chakra, as they say. So I'm going to go through the overview for the month ahead. There's lots of changes. I'm going to go through new moons, full moon. Well, a new moon and a full moon. We've only got one of each this month. And then we're going to talk about all the planets and how they're basically changing up the energy for us all over the next month, okay? So we do have Venus entering Pisces at the beginning of this month on January 2nd. And this is all helping us. If you think about Venus, Venus is a planet of love, and Pisces is a very, I wanted to say wishy-washy planet. Sorry. Get myself mixed up. So Pisces is a sign that's very sort of spiritual, mystical, and it's very much about the self. It's about healing, the inner journey. So if you want to think about Venus in this energy is very much, is all about that sort of, I want to say like poetry in motion, if you know what I mean, because Pisces is very poetry and poetic and musical, and it's just got this beautiful inner journey to it. So it might be a month for you to write poetry, depending on where Pisces is in your chart. It would make all the difference being in a different house. But it's a really nice time to spend time journaling, maybe about your dreams, tapping into creative pursuits, and really aligning with that very romantic and intuitive energy, because Pisces is very intuitive. And so this is really cool. It's a really cool energy for everybody to really tap into. Okay, so for the next month, this is the energy that you could be tapping into to really help yourself, help that goddess within to find this beautiful spark of romance, maybe self-romance. Maybe you're going to take yourself out on a date. Go for it. How can you develop more of your own self-love practices? You know, really bring your goddess into it. So Mars is retrograde, okay, into Cancer, out of Leo into Cancer, January 6th. And so retrograde really encourages more reflection, reflective time. The thing is, Mars doesn't really like being in Cancer. Quite a lot of people have been very worried about the fact that there's some issues with Pluto and Mars at the moment, and that means there's a lot of tension in the air because they're opposing each other in astrology, and that means that can cause a lot of friction. So it's been moving forward and then moving back, so we're seeing this tension with Pluto going on. And so it's time to really look at our emotional expression. And what's really interesting is, as Mars goes back to Cancer, Cancer has got the full moon taking place in the sign of Cancer, and that's where Mars is actually going to be as well. So we're going to see this huge energy, but I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute because it's really, really interesting. So this Mars retrograde is bringing back old wounds because it's retrograding, and so there's a need for us to really start to dig deep on our self-nurture. So if you can really go deeper with your nurture, this is the time to do it. And to also look at your personal boundaries as well. So my boundaries are so tight these days, and you know, just taking care of yourself, making sure that you're surrounding yourself with decent people who don't gossip or backstab, or just surround yourself with the people that you want to be more like. And that's important. You know, that's something I say to people all the time. You know, the company you keep is the energy that you reflect, and I don't want to be around that. You know, that my goddess energy, my inner energy, my divine feminine energy is very much like, how can we help people? How can we step away from things that feel a bit ick? And, you know, so if all people are going to do is get together and have a conflab and be nasty about people, I've got no time for that. But if you want to talk to me about something really constructive and for us to have a really cool conversation, I'm open to it. So yeah, it's just about learning more about emotional expression, I think, and emotional intelligence as well, and how we're all leveling up those personal boundaries. How do we navigate holding really beautiful space for ourselves as well? So how are you going to nurture yourself deeper? That's an interesting thing to ask ourselves, isn't it? So we've got the full moon in Cancer taking place on January the 13th, and the interesting thing is obviously that this Cancer energy always represents that home family energy. We also get the push-pull from Capricorn, where it's illuminating the issues maybe that you're spending too much time in the office and not enough time with your family. So getting that balance right is going to be really important. But then we get Mars coming into the mix that's going, hey, hang on a minute, I'm here, and also, can I just say, I'm going to bring with me a load of stuff from the past, maybe that needs ironing out with family members, or issues from the past that need sorting out. So it could be around home, it could be around family, it could be around emotional security. Whatever it is, take care of it. Take care of your personal boundaries. Look at it again. So this is an opportunity for you to do a full moon ritual. If you want to come into mine, you can always come into Lunar Abundance Queens. We have so much fun going on in there, and we have amazing rituals that we do. And this month we've got something very special going on in there for all the ladies, and also in plot twist, because we're doing goddess full moon ceremonies, which is really awesome too. So we've got lots going on, but this is your opportunity to write down what doesn't serve you anymore, and you can release that under that full moon. Just symbolise that letting go process, which is so important. So We've also got the new moon in Aquarius taking place on January 29th this month. And just remembering, Aquarius is all about innovation, individuality, and fresh beginnings. And also, if you think about it, it's the energy of community. So it's about communities coming together, getting together with like-minded people. And also, we've got the sun moving into the sign of Aquarius just before then. So I think it's the 19th. So we're right in the middle of Aquarius season there, and we're going to feel the power of that sun energy coming through. So really cool energy is Aquarius, and very rebellious as well because it's ruled by Uranus. And speaking of Uranus, the rebel, it's gone direct now in Taurus from January the 30th. So we will be seeing that energy going direct, and we're going to see some changes. Now, I've already heard on the grapevine that they're talking about cryptocurrencies, and they reckon that America's going to go big on cryptocurrency. And obviously, I can't make any claims and stake my things in the ground and say this is what I think is going to happen. But I was like, that's interesting. Uranus is going direct. They think that America's brought a new load of people into Parliament, their own Parliament, that are going to be that are from blockchain and all these other things. I was like, oh, is crypto going to be like there? Are they like really bringing it in as the mainstream? And apparently that could be so. So Uranus direct in Taurus was one of the things. Back in 2019, I'd actually did predict that we would end up with other types of currency and it would become a thing. Well, it's nearly had its full time in Taurus. It's coming towards the end of its cycle. So we're going to really see this disruption. The rebel comes out to really change things for us all so that we can see these big things coming into action. And once it moves into Gemini, blooming heck, it's going to start disrupting all our communication. So just watch how things are really changing. As Uranus heads into certain places, it will throw a spanner in the works, but it's for the highest good, apparently. So, yeah, so maybe reflecting right now and where you need to embrace some change in your life and forging some courage and trust when that comes to that. So this month, I want you to focus maybe on transforming yourself, transformation, the word transformation in itself, like what does it mean to you? And I think of it as sort of an ongoing process of self-acceptance, of growth, of lifelong learning, and really embodying divine feminine energy. It's like teaching us more about ourselves. How can we get better? Don't get bitter, get better. And that's something I've been really focusing on this year. I'm like, this is my mantra: get better, not bitter, because that's my not self in human design. So when I get frustrated, if I'm frustrated by something, it's me not self and I need to get out of it. Sometimes I find myself feeling a bit bitter. So this is the thing, right? We're all human beings, aren't we? And so if we can all just see each other in that human energy, then we can be more accepting. But then, like I said, there's always boundaries. You are always welcome to have a boundary around yourself and to be able to have a standard for what you accept. Okay, so I feel like this is a big message that's coming through. And like, transformation isn't about just fixing yourself. Like, it's about becoming more you. Just becoming who you want to be, and like just accessing that part of yourself that's really compassionate and going, yeah, I wasn't the person I wanted to be last year, so this year I'm changing it. And so that's the same with myself. I'm on this massive journey and I keep looking back and thinking, oh bloody hell, God, 5 years ago, I can't believe how I was, and then like now, and even now I think, right, I've got to deal with this emotionally. I've got to learn to be able to overcome this. And then like really with my own recent understanding of the fact that, I have autism and ADHD, these are massive realizations for myself that I've realized like it's impacted on my friendships, it's impacted in so many areas of my life, and like my expectations are so high, and that's my autism, sadly. But you know what? I've got lots of really cool qualities and traits, and I think actually, we can be grateful for what I can be grateful for what I've got anyway. I can speak for myself, and actually I can come through all the other stuff, like the relationship stuff and the social stuff. Like, it makes life probably a lot harder, and I don't have that many people in my circle anymore, but I understand that potentially, like, for me, like emotional development's been like a huge transformational journey. So I just want you to know that wherever you're at is okay, and like you'll find your way, like, and it's always changing, always evolving, and you'll get to know yourself better anyway on this journey. Obviously, understanding like these planetary changes and energies really help us to, if we align our actions and intentions with our new moons and full moons, we're going to really be able to harness the power of those moons and that magic that comes through. And so that full moon in Cancer is going to be so important to connecting with ancestral wounds and free yourself from those. And that's what we're going to be focusing a lot on. And forgiveness as well, self-forgiveness. Come on, let's forgive ourselves. That's going to be a big one for me. I know that I've got a lot of forgiving myself to do, and I'm going to keep going at that, because you know the thing is, you only know what you know at the time. So and now I've got, it feels like I've grown up in like so much even in the last year, and I think, gosh, you know, it's you. I don't know about anybody else, but I've got to say, being a woman, right, for so long I felt like a kid, and all of a sudden this year I was like, I'm a woman. When did that happen? And it was like I almost like grew up into this woman, this goddess, and I thought that's why I created Goddess of Everything. So I was like, we can be everything. We can still be fun. We can still be uplifting. We can still transform. We can still do everything, and we still keep all the plates turning. And how do we do it? We're literally goddesses of everything. So it's not just about me. It's not an ego thing. I'm not like, I call myself the GOE because everyone's a GOE. Yeah. So and so you can call yourself that if you want, but obviously remember it's trademarked. Don't forget the TM at the end. So yeah, you know, really give yourself time to have that sacred space for reflection this month. Intention set, engage in rituals, journaling, meditation, you know, like go for that Venus and Pisces vibe. Honestly, it's a real good time to get in that meditative vibe. And this month as well, we've got some cool stuff happening in my world of GOE. We've actually got our psychic network getting together, and we're having a whole retreat on the 18th and 19th, which is going to be really exciting. So I'm going to do some sound baths with them, and all these wonderful things. We're going to practice the mediumship. They're all coming on amazingly. And also, just to remind everybody, I actually do a weekly sound bath now online. So if you want to access that, just ask me for the link. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, Goddess of Everything Jo. And if you want to like send me a message on Facebook, it's Jo A Ripley. So go and give us a message. You can always put a comment underneath here, and I can make sure I get in touch with you. Likewise, I'd love any questions, so please send me some questions if it's about like divine feminine work, maybe somatic work, maybe, you know, anything that you can think about. If you want to ask a question, just ask it and I'll do my best to answer it. And one of the things I really wanted to do was have like a Q&A section for this. So that would be really cool. Right, I'm going to get you all now to pick your number. Go on, go for it. Your number. What is your number saying? 1, 2, or 3? It's going to be a quick one. 1, 2, or 3. So number 1 or number 2. And I'm giving you it from my card deck. These are my cards that I designed back in the days when we were soul moon. Actually, number 3's got 2 cards. So number 1, you've got the message here. Divine harmony is at play in all my relationships. So you're getting some changes coming in your relationships for the next month. So work hard on those relationships. Make them work for you. Number two is what I saw, and it says, I consciously choose where and how I channel my energy. There's a message for you. If you weren't doing this, what else would you be doing? So don't sabotage yourself thinking about things that could go wrong. Don't allow yourself to think too much about situations outside your control. And also make sure that you are channeling your energy in the direction you want to go. Don't stay stuck to old people, places and things. You're moving in a new direction. And number 3, you've got, I'm glowing with divine light from the inside out, and the spark and bliss of the universe surrounds me. I really feel like you're getting a huge glow up, number 3. So really take care of yourself, take care of your skin, and really do everything that makes you feel really cool, really good. Get some nice clothes. I feel like clothes are going to be important. It's time for you and your transformation. So that's this month's session, because I'm just doing one a month now. So make sure that you share this podcast everywhere. Make sure that you share it with your friends. And just remember, like, this month is transformation. This is the time for your transformation. But please make sure you leave me a review, a message, and maybe even invite other people to listen, follow, whatever. Share it around. And yeah, share your thoughts on this and on this episode and tag me. So yeah, maybe we did pick a card choice if it was like true and accurate for you. I know it was very brief, but it was nice for you all, I guess, just to receive a little something from us because we'd love to be generous. So that is all. I hope that we can all connect again soon, and I'll be bringing you February's edition at the end of January. Take care.